Welcome back. Yes, I'm wearing my Kiwi shirt and my Cherry Coke hat because they almost match. It's close. This is that salmon color that 20 years ago I would argue with somebody who would go, "Hey, dude, you're wearing a pink shirt," and he'd be like, "It's salmon." And I'm like, "Salmon's pink, dude. It's pink." And it was always funny because I never had a problem with somebody wearing pink. I never had a problem with a guy wearing a pink shirt. I just found it funny that he wouldn't go, "Yeah, it's a pink shirt." He'd be like, "It's salmon. It's pink." It's very similar to the LA Kings. It's forum blue. It's purple. So today is the 7-year anniversary for TEG. So I figured, why not get dressed up for the occasion? Because this is a channel that when I created it, it was created out of necessity. In that there were times where I might want to do a video about non-hockey related stuff. And I needed a place to put that because when I put videos that were non-hockey related on the hockey channel, hockey subscribers let me know it wasn't hockey and I shouldn't have nothing on the channel that wasn't hockey related because I was the hockey guy. So I came over to create another channel and I did so. And that was 7 years ago today. And this channel has 2.9 million views in total over those 7 years. I'm honestly proud of the numbers. The numbers are fine because, again, this is my secondary channel. Now, YouTubers are well known for burning through channels. They have their main channel and they burn through others. And I'm not doing that. I've sworn from the beginning I wouldn't because I've had people say, well, you should start a football channel. No. The moment that I start other channels after this one, it's a losing proposition. It's not going to work because then you have to build that channel up so it gets monetized, and it's a lot of extra work, and then you're piling that on top of work that's already being done on the other channel, and it gets kind of dodgy. A lot of YouTubers that start up all these extra channels very often have a large staff, or they have a company that's got millions of subscribers on the main channel, and they can do that. They can start up other channels and make it work. And I give them props. I'm not in that position. So the channel currently sits at 26,497 subscribers. Again, it's a remarkable number in that this channel can sometimes go a week, 2 weeks without a video on it, especially during hockey season. During hockey season, it can be tough where, maybe there were 10, 12 games on the night before in the NHL, and I really want to talk about something from TV or something in baseball or football, but I don't have the time and maybe I don't have the energy. And that's one thing as well. I want to make sure that when I'm posting videos here, I have the energy. I'm really into it. My heart's into it. Because if not, I likely won't post it. And that's happened before on this channel where I've recorded an entire video and then I look at like 20 seconds of it. I'm like, my energy's really low. I don't like how this came off. I'm going to have to delay this for later. And then very often it doesn't happen. Now, the most popular videos on the channel, May 7th of this year, the video I did on depression where I was honest about that, that is the most watched video on this channel. July 12th of 2019, I did my rant about Big Brother. Now, they weren't editing accurately, which is something that happens in a lot of reality TV, and it gets more and more frustrating when they've edited stuff out. Especially when you see people fighting in one scene, and then the very next scene, they're talking, they're hanging out, and I'm like, okay, so they made up. They sat down and had a conversation, they hashed this out, and they buried the hatchet. We're not going to show that on TV. We're showing this idea that there's all this tension and anger when it's probably gone. And when I look online and I see people who watch these shows, some can see through it, but there are plenty that don't as well. They're like, oh yeah, I want that guy voted out because he said this and this. Clearly everybody hates him. And it's like, but didn't you see how everybody was just sitting down talking to him and it wasn't a problem and it doesn't come up again? No, you just... So again, those shows are not edited very accurately at all. The number 3 one was the Patriots winning the Super Bowl. Again, that was February 3rd of 2019. So that was just me as a Chargers fan saying, so I don't know why I bother. And the best Canadian shows, that video from March 6th of 2018, that still gets views because people are like, where's the Beachcombers? And I'm like, I don't know, out off the Vancouver Island. Number 5, YouTube versus a real job. I did that one July 19th of 2020. In response to just people saying, well, you're a YouTuber, it's not a real job, and just making the comparisons between what I do now and a traditional normal job. Yes, you have to be self-motivating as a YouTuber. If you're not self-motivated, you're not going to make it as a YouTuber. You have to be able to keep to a schedule that you set for yourself. For those who can't set a schedule, and especially if you can't set a budget, those are the ones that very often get in trouble when their channel blows up. I've watched videos on YouTubers that have had everything crumble down around them, and there seems to be one commonality: money. They spend money like crazy, assuming it's going to keep coming in, and I think also assuming it's going to keep going up. So you see your channel's income doing this, and you're like, we're good. This is going to be great, and it can drop. I've had times it's dropped, including in 2020, where it dropped precipitously. March of 2020 was tough for YouTubers, and I think that was probably a wake up call for at least a few. But again, because I'm older, I knew, hey, I don't know how long this is going to go for, so I wasn't spending money like crazy. I know people see my jerseys and assume, well, he spends money like crazy. I do not spend as much money on them as people think I do. Number 6 most popular video is the video of how Yvonne and I met, going back to January 20th of 2018 with that one. It's an interesting video in that it is from 2 moves ago, a long time ago. My wife has lost a lot of weight since then. And yeah, it is just remarkable how that video blew up like it did when it initially posted. And there's still people who post comments on that video. And I don't know, I guess you can still see the chemistry between us then. Our timing back and forth and our ability to speak together, that's still there now. If anything, it's more now. Although now we finish each other's sentences way too much. There are way too many times, too, where we'll be watching a TV show and she'll say what I'm thinking or I'll say what she's thinking. It's just, I've suggested maybe we could live in a different home next door to each other for a couple of months, but she's resisted that. So I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out a way to have us stop finishing each other's sentences all the time. But all kidding aside, this really kind of shows that this channel, yeah, the topics are going to be all over the place. One day I might be talking about football. I might be talking about wrestling. I might be talking about the latest dating show that I've been watching with Yvonne. Spoiler alert, I will be talking about Love Island again once I've gotten through the rest of the episodes, because I have some opinions about Love Island, and I have some words for some of the people from that show who will never watch this channel, but still, I have some opinions. But yeah, this is kind of why this channel was created, right? Where I can put all these topics up. It goes under the entertainment guy, so it's various sports, it's various TV shows, it's music, it's everything. We do our concert reviews on here as well. All the Disney videos we've been uploading too. And there's other reasons for this as well. When I started making videos back in 2015, part of it was that I think I'd been facing the idea of being mortal since my father passed, and knowing that when he passed, he was alone. He didn't have any kind of social media presence online. He did not have Facebook. He did not have Twitter. And when he passed, it was like, his memory will pass and that'll be it. And I started thinking, I don't want that. I want to document things. And so I started making videos. And the next thing you know, the hockey channel is born and explodes. And I still see this as a way for me to express myself and talk about things I'm interested in. So someday, if descendants of mine, distant relatives, old friends of mine from school, or people who knew me from wherever, they can look me up and they can maybe learn stuff. I know my own mother contacted me when I started making videos, and she said, I've learned more from videos you've made than I learned raising you. And that she learned more about what I liked, what I didn't like, my personality. She saw more of that in videos than she did when I was growing up, because I kept to myself. I was an only child. I was single my whole childhood, basically. Didn't have a girlfriend to speak of until I was in my mid-20s. I really was not overly expressive outside of my own little small social group, and that social group would change, and eventually it shrunk too. So the channel was really a way for people to get to know me who maybe didn't. Now, May the 9th of this year, right after the Depression video goes live, the channel gained 304 subscribers. That's the most subscribers this channel's ever gained. But that's a well you can't go back to. I can't go back and do another video on that same topic, which is different than other topics. So if it was a football video, if it was something related to wrestling and it was the number, I'd be like, okay, I can talk about something else with that. But when it comes to the Depression video, that was from the heart. And so it feels like if I did a second video on that same topic, well, then it doesn't look good, and I don't like that idea, so I'm not going to do that. Which I think sometimes YouTubers can fall into that trap of they get that one big video and then they try to recreate, and you can't recreate it. There's videos I've done on the hockey channel that hit, they did really well, and people are like, when are you going to do a follow-up to this, like the one on Bettman's Behind It All? I can't. I can't redo that. That was the Bettman's Behind It All video was completely improv. It was off the cuff. It was because everybody was talking about how everything in the NHL was Bettman's fault, and I just thought it was hilarious because a lot of the stuff they were talking about wouldn't be under his control. But so I just did that video. It was all improv off the top of my head, and I can't redo that. There would have to be something crazy happen where again people are blaming him for everything, and then I could do an updated version. But I can't just make that happen. It has to be organic. I think that's something that's really important for a video to hit. There has to be some kind of organic, real feeling behind it. The watch time on the channel is well above the need for monetization. So early on, YouTube decided they were going to start cutting out some of the smaller creators from the monetization on YouTube. And that negatively impacted this channel. So I was able to do kind of a rally call, and people watched the videos and they got the watch time up. It's not a rally call I think I'm ever going to have to make again, unless they move the goalposts and they make it so that it's much more difficult to get monetized. But I think they've got a good balance now, and this channel's big enough that I don't really have to worry about that anymore. So I'm a big fan of that. Now, for people wondering what's coming up, well, there are lists I know I need to update. My favorite songs, my favorite TV shows and movies. With songs, it feels like I need to do a list of my favorite pop songs, my favorite heavy metal songs, my favorite classic rock. And so to separate it out like that, because how do I compare like a Billie Eilish song I really like to a Rammstein song I really like, and then what about the song Ghostbusters? Like I don't like. To me, that's completely different. And so with movies, I may do separated lists as well. My favorite sci-fi, my favorite horror movies, my favorite comedies, that kind of thing. Because again, it's difficult. Okay, here's where I have Dumb and Dumber, and here's where I have Shawshank Redemption. They are completely different experiences. And I mentioned this before, that you don't go into a horror movie expecting Citizen Kane. You go into a horror movie expecting, some fun. There's going to be some scares. There's going to be some gore. And that's what. So again, I think movies, you have to grade them differently. I've had that debate on this channel before. Now, the one question I get a lot on the hockey channel, and so I'll answer the question here. My goal for the Entertainment Guy for this channel is simple. Continued growth is great. As long as the numbers are going up, we're good. I know I lost a few subscribers when we were posting all the Disney videos. But the Disney videos are great for friends of mine, for family who weren't there. I know they've appreciated seeing those videos. And again, it's a way for us to document the things we've done, the places we've been, and all that. So 10, 15 years down the road, I can look back on those videos and I can be like, yeah, I remember that. I remember being there. I remember all that stuff going on. So it's for us. It's for all you fine people on the internet as well to consume that content should you choose to, and not if you choose not to. With the Entertainment Guy, I don't worry nearly as much about what does or doesn't get views. I've even had the thought of taking hockey history videos and putting them here. But then you're getting into that gray area of, well, wait, why would you put hockey content there? So that's kind of the gray area for me. And if I was going to do something historically, looking back, it would probably be looking at all of the major sports in North America, and maybe doing, year by year and looking at how each league did, looking at rankings, ratings, and all that. So there's definitely stuff there that I think could work for this channel. But my goal is really to keep it where it's far more out of character. Like for the hockey guy, I kind of have, certain, I know there's certain things I have to say in videos. There's certain things I can't say in videos. And on this channel, not as much. This channel, I can relax a lot more. It does feel like of those almost 26,500 subscribers, a majority of them are going to be ones who know me from the main channel, and that's absolutely fine, because that's a base that I can build around, and I'm fine with. So 7 years in, I think this channel's done pretty well considering everything, and again considering YouTubers' track records for creating channels and then burning them to the ground, create another channel, burn it to the ground. I didn't do it. I didn't do that. I've only had the hockey channel and this channel, and I know that the choices I've been making with, the pink hat, which I saw in Vegas, and I was like, I don't know, is that a woman's hat, man's? And I'm like, who cares? Just buy it. You love Cherry Coke. And then just buying the Hawaiian style shirts. This is the kind of thing I was wearing in senior year of high school. I had every rayon shirt. So knowing that this style's coming back, I'm like, bring it on. I don't know how long it's going to last, but bring it on. I love that. I love all the colors and all that. I always did. I got into the neon fad in the early 90s right as it ended. I was so mad. I was so mad that I was like, I got all these cool neon clothes and now I can't wear them. Nobody's wearing them. Well, great. Now what? And they ended up all going to Goodwill and the Salvation Army. So I'm not saying that my shirts are going to go to the Sally Ann anytime soon, Salvation Army terminology. But my wife seems to like it, and it is something different. I know the first time I put on one of these shirts when I ordered them, she was like, wow. And I was just thinking, I need shirts for the trip to California and Vegas that won't be hot, but I don't want just t-shirts either. I feel like I have enough t-shirts, and it's nice to branch out a little bit and have some color and have some fun with it. So that's what I'm doing. Just, not necessarily just wearing the black rock and roll and wrestling t-shirts, maybe, or rock and wrestling t-shirts, which of course Hulk Hogan invented. If you haven't seen the latest of Jim Cornette, that's a whole other discussion, though. I could do a video on my feelings about Hulk Hogan, and maybe soon I will, because I have some really definite opinions about Mr. Hogan. But there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below, as always. Thank you guys so much for your support over the last 7 years. If you've been that long, or if you've been here a week, hey, 7 years worth of videos. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're watching this video and you haven't already. As I said, you never know what you might get from one day to the next. I think that's what Forrest Gump said, right? Never know what you're going to get from one day to the next, so to heck with it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for all your support. As always, I will talk to you again soon.